Councilman Simaluka.
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Here.
Councilman Halco.
Here.
Councilman Camilleri.
Here.
Council President Conti.
Here. Please rise, salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand one moment for a moment of silence for Senator Lautenberg that passed away. Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members on June 7th, 2013, in all legal newspapers in accordance with the provision of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddle Brook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by saying may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Before I open this to the public, Ms. Mazer, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Council President Conti. Good evening, everyone. For those of you who do not know, every year I offer, for the last 13 years, actually it's the 13th award, and the 13th day, and the 13th year. So it's going to be a lucky day for Saddle Brook. We're going to miss the flood, I promise. Anyway, I award a scholarship to a graduating high school senior, and the criteria for that is to list your community service activities, and also an essay on how better to improve and get the young adults involved in our community. I do have two gentlemen that I am awarding each $500 this evening. One gentleman cannot be with us. Because he is ill. Balvir Sinai, he did write to me, and I just want to share with you just the reason why I'm giving him an award. While he did not list many of his community activities, there is one in particular that he would like to see expand. And, okay. And that is the Angels program. And he would like to see that expand. It is a program that is for children with autism, and to help them in to coming out and playing soccer and specifically. So he would like to see that expand, and I'm all for it. And I'd like to award him my scholarship to expand his endeavor. I'd like to congratulate him. My second honoree, is he here? Is that it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes? Oh, your brother, his brother. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you coming this evening. I do not physically have his scholarship because I didn't think he was coming this evening, but I do have it home, okay? And I do have your address, and I will send it to him, okay? I do want to congratulate the family. It is an awesome, anything to do with children is close to my heart. But I'm sure you are very proud, too. And we wish him all the good luck in his future. Thank you. My second honoree is Mr. Eric Nasello, and since he is here, I am going to have him come up and say a little something about what he has accomplished. And can we give him? And I will be joining you.
Firstly, I'd like to thank Councilwoman Mazer for this honor. Secondly, just a little bit about me. Next year, I will be attending NJIT to pursue a major in civil engineering.
Oh.
I have also been a volunteer firefighter with Company 1 for the past 2 years since I've been 16, and I will be attending Bergen County Fire Academy this July to get my firefighter 1 certification. Thank you.
Is the mic on, Paul? The button up.
It is.
Now.
Did you not hear him?
Yeah,
Did
you
he have
have to do it
was
again.
on?
Do it
Okay,
again.
yeah, we're gonna have
Do
you
it
do that
again.
again. I'm sorry. It's important. Second take.
The whole thing. Firstly, I'd like to thank Councilwoman Mazur for this honor. And secondly, just a little bit about me. I will be attending NJIT next fall to pursue a major in civil engineering. And I've also been a volunteer fireman for the past 2 years with Hook and Ladder Company number 1 since I've turned 16. And this July I will be attending Burnett County Fire Academy to receive my Firefighter 1 certification. Thank you.
He's being quite he's being honest, but he's also being quite modest. I know he's been an awesome he's been in athletics for your past 4 years. You've been in awesome football. You've been the captain of the team. You've helped out with the field of horrors and helped neighbors with snow blowing, Hurricane Sandy, and I can go on and on and on. And yes, you are very yes. You are a very well-rounded young man, and you know I commend you for everything and all your dedication in the township. You are an awesome role model, and I wish you nothing but happiness and good luck in your future. And to your family, you've done an awesome job. You really have. Good luck, Eric.
Ms. Mazur, you're finished? Ms. Mazur, all
Yes.
finished, correct?
Yeah, I had no more money.
Thank you, Council President. We were supposed to have our spirit cheerleaders here this evening for presentations. However, due to mitigating circumstances, but I'd like to congratulate them publicly, the Pee-wee's placed first place title, and the juniors first place, and the seniors, and also the Pee-wee's placed first and second in another competition. Second place for the 2013 Nationals, which were in Virginia. And then the grand champs were, of course, our juniors. And the national champs were, again, 4 grand champs, our seniors. So congratulations to all the cheerleaders, the spirit of Saddle Brook, and the coaches. And we really appreciate the pride that you bring to the community. On another note, we have 3 young gentlemen here this evening. And they're probably surprised because I'm mentioning this, but they're working on their merit badge, the Boy Scouts. It's Troop 213. And I'd like the 3 to come forward, introduce yourselves, and please let everyone know your goal towards this badge, because I know the badges take a long time to acquire.
We're going for our citizenship and the community merit badge. It's an Eagle required badge, so to get our Eagle rank, we have to get this merit badge. So, and it's a long one too, so it's not very easy, and that's why we're here tonight. It's one of our requirements. Yeah, to attend the council meeting and to interview a council member. Michael Terwilliger.
My name is Mark Colazzo, and I wasn't really prepared for this. I didn't know I was going to be going up here tonight, but we're doing an Eagle merit badge, as Terwilliger said before, and yes, it's required for getting our Eagle Scout so we can advance in the Boy Scouts. Yep.
My name is Travis Habik, and as again, we are here for a merit badge.
You might want to raise the...
You want to move out of the way there?
Yeah.
As again, as I was saying, we are here for like a merit badge for the citizenship in our community, for which we had to come to a council meeting to like identify like what the issues are that's going on in the council meeting, and then we have to interview one of them, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, boys. Good luck. You know, as the mayor and the council, we're here all the time for everyone, particularly our youth and the leaders of tomorrow. And also, we've had this year 5 Eagle Scouts, or 5 Scouts attain the Eagle Award. So we'll be looking forward to the success of your project and be available when you do become Eagles. Thank you, Council President.
I need a motion to open up to the public. Motion. Motion by Mr. Samaluka.
Second.
By Mr. Halco. It's now open to the public. Oh, and you're all in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is now open to the public.
John Cook, 20 Lean Harcourt, Saddle Brook, former council member. I'm the mayor's appointment to the County Development Committee. We've had our 3rd meeting this year, but in the past, the federal government has cut us 37%. We still don't have the figures on how much money is going to be allotted to the county this year. We're still waiting for the budget to come down from the federal government. Unfortunately, as last year, the 3rd meeting was called for and canceled, and again, I was caught out of town for the 3rd meeting. Anthony Halco is on the committee. Myself and Anthony are both on the committee, and Anthony attended that meeting, and he will give the report. Anthony.
Okay, just so everyone is aware, we had 2 applications in. First one was for the bus driver for the senior citizens, and that was one category. The other category was for handicap improvements at Veterans Field. At our meeting, we knew we were getting cut. Unfortunately, we don't have the amount that we were cut, but we made some cuts. We had to give up the money that we're requesting for the senior bus driver in order to get the improvements to Veterans Fields, which was a lot more than a senior bus driver. As it stands now, we're going to be getting $32,500 in community development money. That's provided no further cuts come down the road. If there are further cuts, everybody, the, 13 towns that are in? 8 towns.
8 communities, yeah.
The 8 towns that are in community development in our district will get cut evenly across the board. So hopefully there won't be any further cuts, and we'll receive the $32,500 to make additional improvements to Veterans Field. We have a bond out there already to make the improvements, and this will be enough to complete the project. And just want to thank Mr. Cook for attending the meetings. Unfortunately, he couldn't make the last meeting due to the one was canceled, and he had his vacation schedule. So, John, thank you for all your hard work.
All right, thank you, and I hope that I'm selected for next year again, and I will try to make sure that they don't put the meeting on when I go away.
You have to give us your vacation schedule.
Thank you, Mayor, for having me on this committee.
You've done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to be heard?
My name is Clarita Papayani, Wilson, 95 Wilson Street. I will start with a quotation. In a blood and origin, I'm Albanian. Nationality, Indian. For the Albanian people, she is known as Agnesa Gonja Boyangiu. For the world, she is well known as Mother Teresa. I'm proud to say that my kids, in blood and origin, they are Albanian and Greek. Nationality, Albanian, Greek, and American. And born in US. What a great combination for those kids to be bullying. It's not from other kids, but it's not only they were bullying from other kids, but the one for me becomes a crime when the adults, the commissioners, the coach, they know about, but they don't do anything because they're making the town proud. And that's what they care about, winning the first place. I believe that those recreation programs, the after-school programs for the kids, is to build the kids' self-esteem, not to put them down. That's not what I saw in this town, and that's sad. It's not that I saw from other kids, I torture my kids, but it's the adults didn't do nothing. They knew, and it's all documented. and they didn't do anything. I'm here, as I mentioned last time, I wanted to have a few questions for the mayor. Mayor, I do recall doing my research on Google before the elections as a mayor, you spoke about transparency. I don't know what is the definition of transparency for you, but for me as an European, as a person from a third country, which your great-grandfathers are from, it's a meaning. It's not only just the same. I would like to know when your daughter, Kim Pirelli, was officially put as a commissioner of Charity Spirit. I would like to know, was another mother as a commissioner of spirit, of recreation, why she was removed? When she was removed, she was dismissed, she withdrew, or it's because one phone call by you was, my daughter wants to become a commissioner of rec, and just let that woman go. I found last time that commissioners and coaches, when getting situations, I will not go details. The town approves an attorney, pay for. We have here Lou Verillo. I heard on April, I think, meeting on YouTube, I heard that he was dismissed. I need to know how many people for the case of Lou Verillo was dismissed at that time for the same case. Did Lou Verillo get an attorney for? I need to know when Renee Di Maria was dismissed from the town as a co-director of the recreation. You were proud before, as I mentioned before, being proud for the spirit chair. Of course, it's a winning always. I believe in February YouTube, on a meeting, public meeting, I saw that one mother stand up and spoke about Middle Avenue for the Cross Guard. You said that we do have a body, but we don't have a funds. A month after, in March, you helped the spirit cheer to get $8,425. Last time I mentioned and I requested and I didn't receive it. When was spirit cheer paid the national in Virginia? Was in March 8th, when the only thing I received was a copy of the check received from the town, or was before March 8th? Please answer.
Ms. Papagianni, I'm not going to allow the mayor to answer any questions regarding personnel issues regarding other people. Unfortunately, as a result of actions, there's litigation involving commissioners and volunteers. That litigation was commenced by you. My understanding is that you made a request for records pursuant to the Open Public Records Act, and those have been provided. So,
okay.
This, if you would let me finish, so at this point in time, I will not permit the mayor or any of the council members to answer any of your questions.
What I received was only the check, not when the Charity Spirit National in Virginia was paid. What I received was Renee Di Maria was dismissed sometime in October with November 2012. What Renee Di Maria as a co-director was doing in
Ms.
January
Papagianni,
2013.
this is in litigation, okay? So, I'm sorry, we cannot answer, as the attorney has told you, we cannot answer any questions. And I do apologize, but it is in litigation.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to be heard?
Yes, hi. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Mayor, Councilman, Councilwoman. My name is Robert Brooks. I live at 432 Saddle River Road in Saddle Brook. I'm fortunate enough to live next to a church and a convent, and I'm very excited, very happy about that. In 11/06, I purchased this house as a two-family for $425,000. It listed in the newspaper as a two-family home. It was appraised as a two-family home. I got the mortgage due to the income from the second floor from the bank, else I would never receive this home.
Mr. Brooks, can I just stop you for a
Sure.
second? Is this involving a lawsuit?
Yes, there was a lawsuit filed in which the municipality was brought in as I believe, a third-party complaint. That's been assigned through the insurance fund to a firm in Ramsey.
I'll leave it to counsel
I
as to.
mean, let Mr.
Yeah,
Brooks make his statement.
Thank you so much, sir. So the bottom line is, I bought something. I did not sue the town. Obviously, I've been living here my whole life. I love this town. This is my home. But I bought this house in 11/15/06 as a two-family. Well, 4 years later, I found out it's a one-family home. I cannot rent the second floor, which it hurts me tremendously because my mortgage gave me the mortgage due to the income. I can only have family up there, which I do have, my nephews up there. My position is in '06, I bought the house, the taxes were $5,500. I'm like, wow, that's cheap. I have a copy for all you to take a look at of the taxes. In 2011, I was paying for, the value of the home was $300,000. Well, come to find out, a year later when they assessed it as a two-family, and they assessed it as $400,000. So for 2 to 3 years, I was paying taxes on $100,000 extra, okay, with a 12.875% interest rate. I spoke to the mayor, and she said she would get back to me. Obviously, she's very busy. She said she would help me. I never got no call back. Once again, I did not sue you. My adversaries put you in the mix. I don't know why, and I apologize for that. I don't know why I would never do that. You never did nothing wrong. All you did was gave me a CO. I came to find out my attorney never gave me a CO at closing, nor a res HUD at closing. I found out this was a one-family home 4 years later. So there's consumer fraud there. My issue is, Art, the tax assessor, came to my house and I addressed all my issues, two-family, everything said two-family. He changed it from the value of the house of $400,000 to $299,600 as a one-family. So he took $100,000 off the value of my home, which was right, which was the right thing to do, and I appreciate that. But the thing is, for the past 3 years, I've been paying taxes on $100,000 that I should not be paying at 12.875%. So you have to understand my position. You know, what do I just eat that? I'll be paying for $100,000, 12.875%. I didn't do nothing wrong. I bought a two-family home, listed it, everything was a two-family home. 4 years later, it's a one-family home. What do? I'm trying to modify my mortgage. I told my mortgage company, they bought a bad loan, basically, the mortgage company. In '06, my dog could have bought a mortgage, okay? Basically, and it's true. My dog could have got a mortgage in '06. But the bottom line is, I got a mortgage with the income from the second floor. Tony, the building inspector, is very helpful with me. He's working with me. He understands as well as the mayor understands what my issue is. I'm losing sleep. I'm getting gray, unfortunately, but it gives me character. The thing is, like I said, I'm paying $100,000. They assessed it as what it should be, $299,600. But for 2 to 3 years, I was paying for $400,000, $100,000 of difference value. And I think I should be compensated for that. Not only compensated, I tried to do a loan modification. And on a loan modification, it says, is there any liens against the property? Well, unfortunately, there is, because this is a litigation. I'm spending over $10,000 to fight, to get justice. I want to become whole. I bought it too, I wanted to. That's the bottom line. For me to become whole, a lot of things need to be addressed. Fire rating, firewall, everything needs to be fire rated. Safety first, I believe that. But the bottom line is, again, it's a one-family home. I have a lien against my property, so I can't get a mortgage, a modification on my mortgage. I have a lien against my house for the water bill. And that's my issue. I can't afford nothing. I mean, never mind the water. I'm paying this lawyer, that lawyer. I'm in it for $10,000 now. Now what do? Can't forget about my lawsuit against my attorney, against the realtor that listed as a two-family. The listing is like the holy grail of real estate. It's a two-family. Everything got a two-family. Well, it's a one-family in the town's eyes and in everybody's eyes. Well, like I said, my position is they put a lien against my house. The town put a lien against my house for a $600 or whatever water bill. I can't get a loan modification because of this lien. If I could pay the bill, I'd be happy to pay the water bill. But I think I have a lot more on my plate than just the water bill. So I would like to give you a couple of the copies. I believe I gave the mayor a couple of them, and she understands my position. I just want everybody else to know my position. I have to go for a variance. It's going to cost money. I have to spend over $95,000 for my house to become whole, and it's not fair. And that's my position. So if you want to, the bottom line is you were hired to help the people that live in this town, and I need your help. I'm not that educational-wise. I could read, but I have a problem with understanding comprehension. I'm on my own here. No one's helping me. So I would ask somebody, one of you people, to help me. That's what I would ask. So thanks for listening, and you know my position. I got the shaft, as you could say. So as far as, like I said, 12.875% interest on $100,000 taxes, that's ridiculous. I should be either compensated or something should happen. At least talk to me or do something between all of you to let me become whole. I know it's going to take a long time, obviously, to become whole. I got a fire rate. I got to move out of my house for 60 days. All the ceilings got to be ripped out. I got egress windows, hardwire smoke and carbon detectors. Like I said, safety first. But I need one person to step up and advocate for me. I don't know who it's going to be. I would like everybody to raise their hands. But that's what I know, Mayor. I just didn't get any kind of response. But I just want to let it know on record that I bought a 2 and it's a 1, and I'm having a tough time. I can't even get a modification on my loan because of a water bill, which I don't even have a water shut-off valve. So I have copies of the printing of whatever we have. I made 5 or 6 copies, and I just wish somebody would help me. Like I said, I need to do it. I need to do I have to go in front of the board to see if it could become a 2-family house. It's zoned into 2-family.
Your CO was for 1 family or 2 family?
It was CO was for 1 family, but my attorney withheld it from me. I found out from Tony 4 years later. There's definitely consumer fraud, and I apologize that the town was involved. My adversaries countersued and put you involved in the mix, and I apologize. But it's not your fault at all. I don't even know why they put you in the mix. I would never, because you didn't do nothing wrong. You gave me a CO. You checked for carbon, for smoke, for safety, and I believe safety is the #1 concern. I didn't get the CO until Tony handed it to me 4 years later, and I've been fighting this for 2 years. Now I need expert witnesses from real estate. I need expert witnesses from malpractice against my attorney. I need $95,000 worth of work in order for me to become whole. Basically, I bought an apple, and 4 years later, I found that it's a rotten pear. That's the only way I could explain it. So if anybody can help me, like I said, I need somebody to advocate for me. I live here my whole life. I believe somebody should at least step up and help me do this,
Okay.
And that's all I say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I may, Mr. Brooks, you're correct. You came to the store, you spoke with me, I helped get your paperwork in order by date and photocopied, and then I handed it over to the attorney. And he told me since the town was brought into litigation that I had to stop there and the attorney's office was going to handle it.
Okay.
So
Like I said, I'm trying to
you
do
do
my-
have an advocate in the town.
You do. Well, I would like a name. Like I said, I can't modify. My mortgage company knows what happened. they bought a bad loan. But
Thank
they're
you.
willing to help me, but I have a lien against my home
Thank you.
for the
Okay.
water bill.
Mis-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brooks, just one question for you, because I did speak to the attorney that was handling it, and
Sure.
that's probably why you did not get any communication from
This
the
has
mayor.
nothing to do with anything.
I understand. Are you saying that right now, that your loan company or your mortgage company won't modify the loan because there's that water lien on the property?
There's liens on the property, correct?
Right, but is it the water lien?
Well, they asked me, is there any liens, and I obviously had to tell them the truth and say yes.
I'm just trying to make sure, because
Sure.
if
There's no
that's,
other lien.
if that's the only issue,
Yeah.
maybe there's a way to solve the
I
problem.
can't afford the water bill, I really can't. I think I have other big obstacles to work with than the water bill.
I think I have the information. I'm not the person handling it, but at least I can speak to that person.
Okay, well, I'm
Thank you.
glad you understand my position.
Thank you. Anyone else like to be heard?
First, happy 4th of July. Good evening, Omar Rodriguez, former council president, 275 Madison Avenue, Saddle Brook. First, Mayor, I would like to confirm or deny a rumor that Lieutenant Burns has resigned yesterday, effective next month.
Confirmed.
All right. So therefore, we are down to 22 police officers. And for 2 years, I've been coming here and speaking loudly about safety. That we need more rank and file officers to patrol the streets because we have too many chiefs and not many Indians. Now, I also know that you have certified the police list for Saddle Brook residents only. If so, when will they be hired and how many? Keeping in mind the police academy training will start at the end of July.
Excuse me, Mr. Rodriguez. You want us to answer at the end? You want it?
No, just now.
Okay, I do have certification, finally,
Yes, I
after getting past the fact that we could not hire by virtue of a judge's consent decree. We have now been legally qualified to hire 3. Interview process will be starting this week with Deputy Chief White. According to the civil service list, there are about 25 names here. And this list is good until December 3rd of this year. This list allows me to hire 3 officers from this list, the residency list. I am also able to hire 2 officers by virtue of the consent decree. So Tuesday night at the work session, I had discussed with the council, and I told them this is my intention. We will be doing the interview. We have already notified the academy. We're in our framework of time for background checks. So the 3 that get hired next week, because all these applicants have until Friday to notify the mayor's office that they are interested. So I'm hoping by the end of next week, we will have 3 new officers come on board. And then thereafter, in speaking with the police chief, we have 2 other individuals that may satisfy the consent decree, who will be lateral transfers potentially, and I will be hiring them, so that's 5. Now, yesterday, I received from our Officer Burns his letter, which the council has, and he was going down to the chief, and the chief and I were both aware at the same time. And at Tuesday night's meeting, I requested that the council, in November, when we finally get the more intimate details of our financial order, and you being the former council president, you're very much aware of what happens in November financially. My goal is to fill as many slots as possible in the police department. Because, as you said earlier, we're down to about 22, and we really should be at 34. Is that correct?
Yes, Mayor. Now,
34,
yes,
and?
if I may, since
Okay.
you just made the comment, if I may, then I just go back to the council president and members of the council, and I just go back to the last 2 years that I've been speaking right here, that since we have too many high-ranking officers, it's about time to change the table of organization. One captain left, retired. Now we have a lieutenant retiring. We just heard the mayor saying that basically we're gonna hire hopefully 5, hopefully some more later on. But also as a taxpayer, we don't want to increase the taxes. Why not to change the table of organization and eliminate those positions the same way that we've been talking about doing when Deputy Chief of Police White retires? So this is the time. So we don't have to fill those positions. We have too many chiefs, not many Indians, and we need security in town. 22 officers is laughable. Because you call one cop, that's 50% of your force right now. So please address that issue as soon as possible. Now, since we have money for some other purposes, and I don't see moving so far into the police, but I'm glad to hear that we have at least 5 in the near future. I just want to move quick, since the time is moving, that Caldwell Avenue. It's been a lot going on in Caldwell Avenue. And I've been saying from the very beginning, this project do not pass the smell test. And I'm going to repeat it again. It's too many conflicts of interest, regardless of what professionals can say. You as an elected official have been sitting there for so many years. You have the right to ask for outside counsel or do research on your own. What I'm trying to tell you is, right now, there is no rush. You guys lately has been rushing like hell to get meetings out of your pockets. Scheduling meetings, thinking that the planning board is going to approve some of these projects. But it didn't happen, and I have to give kudos and it takes a lot of resentment for some elected officials, I guess, but the planning board did good for standing up and speaking up in the best interest of Saddle Brook. And that's what every single elected and appointed official should be doing, not just looking for the interest or the pockets of a few. Saying that, I want to add, there is no COA right now, there is no board. The current governor do not want a COA. COA has not been in existence for such a long time. Why do we need to build low-income housing units? Who designate that? When we already have Russell Lane as a low-income area. Why can someone, I've been saying this for months, why do we have to move from Russell Lane that is already designated into Caldwell Avenue? I want to address that because I'm in favor of senior housing, so please do not tweak or change my words. I'm in favor. What I'm not in favor is about the process, how things are occurring. So fast, not too much transparency. Right now, the only problem, why I haven't heard boo or a healthy debate on why it cannot be constructed, those low income. Let's not just put senior housing, let's put low income senior housing first. Why do we have to lose $1.3 or $1.4 million from developers? It's not from the town, not from the taxpayers. It's from developers that is put into the coffers. Why do we want to give it to the county? What is going to happen if the state, if COA ever get back into existence? What happens if the state do not approve Caldwell Avenue and you already pay to the seller on Caldwell Avenue? Because we already have designated Russell Lane. The only problem with Russell Lane is that the mayor owns a piece of property by Russell Lane. Why don't we discuss it? Let's say it. Listen, it's not buildable. Let's sell it. Let's do it for recreation, but let's have a healthy debate. That's all what I'm looking for. At least let's have a change of ideas. Let's have a conversation. The problem with this is not transparency. What is going to happen if a developer comes and says, give me my money, $1.3 million. What are you going to do? Are you going to be able to bond to pay them back when you already paid the seller? Why, if we want to do that, just this is another scenario. Why do we have to give it to the county? If, let's say for instance, after we explore all the avenues to build senior housing units, and we decide that that's the best location, let's assume that. Why don't we debate and exchange ideas if instead of giving it to the county, maybe it's better to form a housing authority in Saddle Brook, which will create jobs and stay in Saddle Brook. And not just that, but actually to keep it like Garfield did it, Lori did it, instead of just send it to the county. I don't know, Councilman Simlica, is any jokes right here?
What you said was a joke, yes.
We do
Absolute joke.
We do all, Council President, with all
Let's
respect.
yes.
With all respect, you asked for the quorum right here. I think that I have the floor.
You
No,
don't
no,
address
no,
me.
I'm just saying.
Don't address me and then don't expect me
No,
to talk
no,
back to you.
because I'm just
Okay.
going to the Council President. If I do the same, and if I start doing
Goodbye.
macro, please,
Goodbye.
do not. You see?
No, I'll let you finish real quick, just please.
Okay. You want to be treated with respect, please treat me with respect.
Okay.
And in closing, I just would like to say that if we want to keep Caldwell Avenue, why don't we just tell the truth to the seniors in town that maybe not even 3% of the seniors in town will ever see the light of one of those units on Caldwell Avenue, because that will be low income and is a criteria on the income requirement, and those people might come as far as Camden to come and live over there. Thank you very much. Happy 4th of July to all of you.
May I just say something while I got this?
Yes, you may.
All right, before you come up. Okay. When we talk about, on the one hand, talking about saving money, and then have someone come up here and talk about a housing authority, which another layer of government, it's going to create jobs. Who's going to pay these jobs? This comes from our taxpayers. So to have another level of government where you've got somebody making $100,000 as the housing authority commissioner, and you've got all these other people, I had to laugh. I'm sorry, but for someone who professes to want to save the taxpayers' money, that would be ridiculously expensive. And one last thing about how we're rushing to this. I think, when was the first meeting on LaGraney? Was it September, October, something like that? It's now the middle of June. There is no shovel has been put in the ground. So we're talking about 9 months, almost a year. Nothing's going to be done here for a while. It's going on a year. So for someone to come in and say we're rushing this, it's 9 months, and to tell you the truth, we're not really that far from where we began. So I just wanted to get that out. Those are thoughts that I had, and I didn't want to wait to the end.
If I may, Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Just one point. This council has had several meetings dealing with, let's call it, Council on Affordable Housing Issues. COA is the acronym. Well, you just heard that COA doesn't exist. COA does exist. There was a meeting of COA that was held in May. The first action of business was to try to grab affordable housing trust funds from municipalities. There were letters that were sent out. After those letters were sent out, the appellate division issued a stay on the actions of COA as being contrary with respect to previous court orders. Most recently, this past Friday, which was the 7th, the appellate division issued an order and said that COA has to institute due process. Forget the facts behind what the due process is or will be. Very simply, the Council on Affordable Housing exists. It scheduled a meeting. Whether we agree or disagree with its mandate, there is an affordable housing obligation. The spending plan of the municipality was changed. It was sent to the Council of Affordable Housing last year with the various resolutions targeting properties for the creation of the low and moderate income senior housing. I was originally retained to do the affordable housing and what we were going to deal with COA in 2012. This council has been discussing it for quite a long time. LaGraney was targeted, Rosso Lane was discussed, and Caldwell was decided upon. That's where we're at.
Thank you.
Larry Tychek, 92 Claremont Ave. Through the chair to Mr. Chakowski, have we met our co-obligation?
Am I permitted to answer, Mr.?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to that because all third-round plans have been suspended for review, and the Supreme Court will probably make a decision on
So
third
you don't know
round.
the answer, okay, I don't
No,
want to
you
cut
know,
you short.
no.
I don't want to cut you short, but I don't.
The answer is...
Is a yes or no answer?
There is not a yes and no answer. Third-round submission has been made
Okay.
to COA. It has not been reviewed.
That's sufficient.
That's the answer.
That's sufficient. Tuesday night, a developer was in here who is responsible for 12 units. And I believe he wants to go forward with them 12 units. And I believe he had a large sum of money in that kitty that we used to buy Caldwell Avenue. And months ago, when you were in negotiation with Caldwell, I asked you what would happen if a developer came forward, and this gentleman happened to come forward. We're all here Tuesday night, and he wants to proceed with I guess he wants to change the wording in his agreement from condominiums to rental units, and he's willing to put 80 units, which 12 will be low-income housing. So, I mean, we're rushing. When Mr. Samaluka said we're not rushing, I believe there was 3 or 4 special meetings in May. I don't think we've ever had that many in the last year, between planning board, council meetings that were canceled because things didn't go right. We had three nights, I think, one week where there were meetings scheduled between planning, council, planning, back to back to back to back to back. We were fighting a May 31st deadline. Said you were going to lose the money or whatever, and now I think someone told me Tuesday night that it's been extended to October. So we can really put the brakes on that program. And also the county came in here and changed all the rules. We went from 62 to 55. We went from 80% senior to 20% low income. We're not looking for that. You know, that wasn't in our plans, and we did have a planning board, I think, that did a good job speccing the building out and making it so it fits into the town. Not what the county wants. The county don't live here. We live here. And you are destroying a nice neighborhood over there by doing that. That building is not in despair. I disagree with that, and I would like to see, or maybe someone from up here go to that judge and say, you want to see a building in despair, go to Amloy. A building like that, that's a building that needs to be bulldozed down. Not that building. You can move into that building tonight and sleep there. It's manicured, it's landscaped. I mean, the guy does keep the building nice for an abandoned building, so-called abandoned building. He's getting a tax break for the last 5 years because of that. Like I said, like Omar said, the whole thing doesn't smell right from the beginning there. And I think that we should back off there now because you have this other developer here up at the plate right now. Let him spend his money. Let him build his units over there. He's going to build 80. We don't need that Caldwell Avenue right now. As the mayor was talking about the thing with the police department, was there any deals made on the town's part to hire off that resident list? Or is that just, or that was a deal that was worked out? Or?
Could you clarify, Mr. Atajcik, the
Well, I
word
know
deal?
we're gonna
I don't like that
okay,
word.
We're gonna
The
take
context,
the
content
other
of
thing
what your question is,
Okay,
please.
I disagree with you when you said you couldn't hire, because the former administration, I believe, hired 7 police officers, and we were under that same.
I'm not the former
I know that, but I'm
mayor.
saying we did hire seven police officers.
Larry, would you like the mayor to answer now, or you want to wait to the end?
Well, let me clarify what I meant by deal. We're taking 3 Saddle Brook residents. Did we, at any time, did you negotiate with them so we could pull off that list? Or that was just said, okay, Saddle Brook, here you go now, we're signing off on
Who are you referring to when you say, did I negotiate with them? Them.
Like the NAACP had you say
The consent,
not a lawsuit, a consent.
the consent decree order,
Right.
okay? Yes, I didn't personally speak with them, the NAACP. The attorneys did that.
Okay, but
The attorneys came to the agreement collectively by law. That's how I was able to
Okay, and
get this list.
so we can hire 3 residents. we had to give in to take.
Here's the list once again.
Okay. Like I said, I mentioned that house on Hayes Drive, corner of Middle and Avenue.
I have the report on that.
Okay. We're making progress.
Mr.
then.
Ratajczak.
Okay.
Here again, another inherited problem that we, this council and mayor, are trying to take care of for the residents of Saddlebrook. This house has been vacant since 2008.
Okay.
We are now in the year of 2013. And as I mentioned on Tuesday night, the building department gets many problems that go over to the DPW for property maintenance. And
Mayor, I don't want to cut you short, but I'm under 10
okay.
minutes. Okay. You're
Anyway,
working on it. You're on top
I'm
of it.
going to
That's
tell
all
you
I need to
something,
hear.
Lara.
That's all I need to hear.
Demolition
Okay,
potentially
demolition.
will occur June 24th.
Very good.
And the
Thank
Bank
you.
of America, who it took just a bit of time, was tracked down.
I just
You're
need to know
concerned
you're on
about
top
the
of it.
time, and
Right.
I take my
Okay.
time to give the public the answers they ask.
This street here, Rosemont Avenue, where it was the old Gray South Street, are we gonna do anything through the chair to Mr. Costa? Are we gonna do
Rosemont.
anything with that street? You know, fix it, repair it, or just let it disintegrate? You lose.
Not that I know of, unless the
No, I'm
council
just
directs
asking,
me.
you know where Rosemont is, right here,
I know
right?
exactly where it is.
Can we do anything with that? I know the guy, when he opened up the store, he paved it himself, but he just put a cap on here and it's shot. The road is shot,
If
it's
the,
been shot like
if the
that for
council
30
directs
years.
me to put a spec or something together to mill and pave, we'll do it.
Okay.
I don't have the checkbook.
Okay, on May, while I have you, on May, on how many soil samples did you take and how deep did you go?
I wasn't there personally, one of my staff was there. I believe 4 were taken. I don't know the actual depth, but there was actually an outside company that actually did the sampling. But I will get that information to you at the next
Okay.
meeting.
Bob, were they hired by the other people, right? The homeowner? Or the
They
landowner?
were actually hired, they were hired by the town, but they'll be reimbursed from the escrow monies that are put up.
So nobody from your firm or from the town was there to oversee that?
That's not what I said. A staff member from my firm was there, but he
Okay.
physically wasn't taking the samples.
Well, he would know.
Yeah, it was done by
what the-
Nova Environmental. And I believe the chain of custody is in his hand, and he took it to Aqua Protec out in Fairfield.
All right, on, again, going back to Caldwell, the other things we have to look at, we're losing the taxes, that pilot issue is not there's no revenue for the town over there with that pilot program that they want to suck us into. And you're talking about a redevelopment. The area does not need to be redeveloped. It's one single building, and the building is not in bad shape. I mean, you know, I'm sure Mr. Costa can do a report on it, or somebody else, but I mean, if you wanted to look at buildings around town that were in a lot worse shape than that, you would, you know, have a lot more to do. I also seen today all the equipment that we're purchasing, that's great, but in the future, can we have some kind of program where we do like 2 or 3 trucks every, you know, get on a schedule? Because we're not the richest town in the world to go spending that kind of money. And I mean, people don't buy a complete fleet like that. That's a lot of money there that we spend. We do need it, and our guys do need it to do the work, and they do good work. You have good equipment, you'll do good work. But we have to initiate some kind of program where we don't get hammered like this every year. You can't spend $1 million every year. Buy 2 or 3 or 1, whatever, how you want to do it. And just like I said, I just really wish that you would re-look at that Caldwell Avenue project, knowing now what you know with this developer coming in and with how he wants to go forward. We really don't need that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to be heard?
Good evening. Marilyn Masello, 152 Claremont Avenue. Just a brief note that I just wanted to actually just share and send a thank you out to. Everyone knows college is getting really expensive. Just the cost of books alone is significant. And I had the pleasure on June 5th to attend the local Marriott in Saddle Brook. And it was the Saddle Brook Marriott hosted us at the Scholarship Award Dinner for Saddle Brook High School, the seniors. And I have to tell you that the ballroom was packed with the students, with the parents, with the administration of the school. And it really was just wonderful to see all the scholarships that were awarded to all of these students so that they can go on and continue their college educations, the many local organizations in this town, private citizens, the local businesses in this town, the PTAs, the PTOs, many alumni from Saddle Brook High School really took their time and their generosity to not only acknowledge students, but really to support them. And I just wanted to publicly say thank you for everything that you do for them, and I encourage you to keep giving to them because they're the future of our town, and they really do appreciate it. So thank you for everybody.
Thank you. Anyone else like to be heard? Seeing none, I need a motion to close.
Motion.
Mr. Camilleri, second by Mr. Samaluka. I need all in favor?
Aye.
Motion now closed to the public.
Ordinance 1545-13, an ordinance of the Township of Saddle Brook accepting the street known as the Main Hill Street Extension to continue to the July 11th meeting.
Matt, do you think we'll have the borings, the environmental report back by then?
It's usually like 3 weeks to get the answers back.
Okay.
Well, we're not in a rush, right? We're not in a rush. Time's on our side. I need a motion to carry over.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Halko, second by Ms. Mazur. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazur.
Yes.
Councilman Halko.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Constance.
Yes.
Bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of township-wide drainage improvements in by and for the Township of Saddle Brook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $160,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds for a second reading.
I need a motion. Motion by Ms. Mazur,
Second.
second by Mr. Samaluka. Roll call.
Councilman Samaluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazur.
Yes.
Councilman Halko.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Constance.
Yes.
A bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of township-wide drainage improvements in by and for the Township of Saddle Brook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $160,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion, we open to the public.
Second.
By Mr. Halko, second by Ms. Mazur. This is open to the public. Anyone like to be heard? Seeing none, I need a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
Unless there's something wrong with them.
Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddle Brook that the ordinance entitled, a bond ordinance to authorize the undertaking of township-wide drainage improvements in by and for the Township of Saddle Brook in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $160,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. This is now passed on second and final reading, and that the township clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion.
Motion. By Mr. Halko, I need a second.
Second.
By Ms. Mazur.
Councilman Samaluka?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazur?
Yes.
Councilman Halko?
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Council President Constance. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or members so request it, in which case the item or items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence, reports, and approval of minutes and applications. Not part of the consent agenda is the May 20th special public meeting of resolutions 6, 7, and 8. And if the council has no objection, we can add as resolution number 32 to authorize the return of a bond for the Saddle Brook Diner upon the issuance of new bond.
If I
TK
may.
Incorporated, I think.
Yeah, if I may just add to that, as discussed at the work session and as indicated by Mr. Costa, the diner project basically became a two-phase project. You are releasing the bond on the first phase because that work has been completed. For the second phase, he will still be required to obtain, to execute a developer's agreement and provide some sort of performance guarantee for the work to be done.
Correct.
So what the council is authorizing based upon Rob's recommendation is the release of the Phase 1 bond.
Okay, do I need a
Just,
motion?
if I may, Mr. President, just the wording prior to the issuance of the second bond, the problem is he can't get the second bond until the first bond is released. So it's what comes first, the chicken or the
Right.
egg? We're gonna have to put very small exposure on the community or on the town for this, because the majority of the work is done anyway. So my recommendation to the council is release the bond, and then prior to him going forward with the next phase, he needs the issuance of a building permit, but release this, he can't go forward until he posts the bond for the future work. So just release.
Okay. I need a motion. I need a motion. For a consent.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Camilleri.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Halco.
Councilman Simuluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilman Halco.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Conti.
Yes.
We have the minutes of the May 20th, 2013 special public meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second it.
Motion by Mr. Halco, second by Ms. Mazer.
Councilman Simuluka. I missed on the minutes. May 20th.
May 20th abstain.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilman Halco.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Conti.
Yes.
We have resolution number 6 is to approve payment of bills, Costa Engineering.
I need a motion.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ms. Mazer, second by Mr. Halco.
Councilman Simuluka.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilman Halco.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Conti.
Yes.
Payment of bills, Nash Electric.
I need a motion.
Second it. This may be a
I mean,
motion.
motion to approve.
Roll call.
Councilman Simuluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Councilman Halco.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Conti.
Abstain.
And approve payment of bills, Corner Nursery.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
I'll second.
Councilman Simuluka.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Abstain.
Councilman Halco.
Yes.
Councilman Camilleri.
Yes.
Council President Conti.
Yes.
That's it.
So we did reports, right? Reports are done. So we go into old business. Okay, is there any old business?
I have nothing, Mr. President.
Okay.
At the last meeting, we talked about the stop signs and areas of the town that may be in need of some more signalization. And if you go on the corner of Oak and Wilson, and where it meets with Plaza, Rich lives right near there. He can say what's done, but from my understanding, and I drove by, instead of one stop sign, there are now 4 stop signs there. There's striping on the road, so it's much more visible. And even with that, there was an accident. So, I mean, you could probably have a policeman standing in the middle of the street, and if somebody's going to blow through a stop sign, they're going to blow through a stop sign. But at least we have to try and make it as safe as possible. In regard to what I talked about, and another resident had mentioned the intersection of Bell and Kuhn, where there's a 3-way intersection and there's no traffic signals. Apparently, at one point, there was a yield sign there, and I believe that is the police department or the DPW are going to be erecting either a sign or signs at various locations there to try and stop the mystery of what to do when you get to Bell and Kuhn.
Thank you. Any other old
No,
business?
you know what, let me just, while it's fresh, Mr. Ratajczyk had said about the meetings, and I think that's a testimony to the council, but more than that, the planning board, that they did go out of their way and take the time to meet 3 or 4 times within a month, because there were some time constrictions. And they took time out of their life on weeknights when they could be elsewhere to do that. And in the end, when everything was put together, the project was not approved. And it's going to, I guess it's going to keep on going, but maybe in a different phase, it may even be a different developer. But in terms of rushing this, like I said before, no development has taken place, and actually, based on the planning board's not hearing it because there was a mistake, they got to come back again and make a presentation, and I'm going to request that the county make a better presentation, because I think that they have been a little lax in giving the proper information, the proper documentation that we would need in order to make a decision that's good for the township.
Any other old business? Old? No? Old? How about any new business? You want to go, Mayor? Sure.
I have comments.
Sure, well, I was going to get to you.
Thank you. I'd like to keep the public informed regarding the Saddle River. As we know, when it's not raining or no hurricane predictions are coming forward, everyone doesn't think about the Saddle River. Well, I'd like to let the public know that the council and myself have been working on it and where we are at. I'd like to be making a more positive statement, but we are no place. I'm very doubtful we'll be able to get the dredging done. It appears when I reach out to the upper levels of government, and 2 weeks ago I was on the phone with the governor of New Jersey's aide, I was very disturbed that the governor's not coming into Saddle Brook. Very disturbed about the fact that we're not recognized on a 25-year problem because we don't generate the revenue as a tourism community. Every time it rains, Mike Calderon, DPW, myself, John Joe Toohey, our OEM, and Pete, we're out there. We're looking at what's going on. We're watching, we're hoping, we're praying. Thank God, through the efforts of the council, good engineering, working with the state, the county, we resolved some flood issues on Saddle River Road. Knock on wood, they hold. Some on 5th Street. However, the riverbanks are at their worst. Passaic Valley Sewer Commission has been constantly coming in to trim back what is allowed by environmental law, along with the Mosquito Commission, the Parks Commission. Of recent, I spoke with a gentleman there, Brian, who does well for Saddle Brook from Passaic Valley, and they couldn't cut back because it was trout season. So the debris and what was able to be removed could not be. I believe trout season is coming to the end this month. I'm not a fisherman, whatever. So they'll be working on that, but that's not a solution to the problem. Now, I also had my assistant call up our Congressman Pasquarelle's office 3 weeks ago. By virtue of phone call, by virtue of letter, I requested the newly elected congressman pay Saddle Brook a visit. I wanted to go on a walking tour with him. Well, I didn't receive the reply I wanted. Instead, I received an email from his aide, and I'm not discrediting anyone. However, I can read the first part. Dear Mayor, with Memorial Day weekend fanfare down the shore behind us, many in the media are rushing to declare mission accomplished in the recovery efforts from Hurricane Sandy. Up here in Bergen County, we know that we still have a long way to go to make your towns, constituents, and small businesses whole again. Congressman Pasquarelle wanted to make sure you are aware of several new programs funded by the federal Sandy relief package that have been rolled out in recent weeks that can benefit your municipalities. And I have a listing here of the items listed. A buyout program with applications for federally funded housing grant programs, business applications. I have given this to our webmaster, Joe Abiso. All of this information will be on the website. This will be posted for the general knowledge of the flood victims of Saddle Brook. I'm not stopping here. I will continue to badger whoever it is to come out here and take a look. I'm very disturbed by 10 county meetings, and the Army Corps of Engineers study has not been spoken of in the last 12 to 14 months. I have no answers yet. I know that federal monies of over $1 million were spent. There's many suggestions out there. Mike Calderon and I rode the rivers before this last rain, and the shoals are just getting higher and higher and higher. The banks are getting lower and lower. That's just Saddle Brook. Mike took the initiative, or he was out on his recreational to-do. He bicycled up the path from Saddle Brook through Ridgewood. Mike, would you like to come forward and tell the public what you saw, please? Come on, Mike. You were there firsthand, because I really want the public...
Mike, come on down.
I want the public to realize that Saddle Brook is going to be in for the fight. Mike, tell the public what you...
This is your DPW superintendent at work.
The riverbanks are in Ridgewood, Paramus, Fairlawn are lower in those towns than they are in Saddle Brook. So the water is coming down faster than it ever has been. And there's more trees laying across the river and blocking the waterway in the other towns than there is in Saddle Brook. Not because we take care of Saddle Brook, it's just that I took a ride on a bicycle and saw this and I couldn't believe it. That's what's going on, so.
Thank you. And then Mike brought it to my attention. Now, I had asked Anthony Halco when I received my reply from the congressman's office and no reply from the governor's office. I had asked Anthony if, since he's our ace mechanic video-wise by virtue of the TV and all of that, if he could go out and do a shot of the river while the water was low. Well, he has a busy schedule, and then the rains came. Anthony, if you can explain, because one important thing, we had, a bill was there, either before the Senate or Assembly for the Marsalis Bridge to be raised. Anthony, please tell the public what you told me and what you have on video.
Okay, what I did was last Saturday after the storm, my son and I went out and we filmed different areas. The first spot I went to was the Marsalis Avenue Bridge and Saddle River Road on the Garfield-South Hackensack border. That's the bridge that acts as a dam as the river gets higher. I have it on video. With the rain we received last Friday and Saturday, the water is about 1.5 feet from hitting the top of the bridge, the bottom of the bridge, which would act like a dam. And then once it started damming up, the water eventually would back up into Saddle Brook. So I have that on video. I also went to where the Saddle River and the Passaic River meet, just to get that on video to show how fast the water does rush into the Passaic River. Because if you don't have that head pressure, the water is never going to get into the Passaic River. Again, the Passaic River is also a tidal river at that point. So if a storm hits during high tide, it's also going to impact the Saddle River's flow into the Passaic River. I also did the Railroad Avenue Bridge and the train trestle bridge. That is a choke point, and when I finish with all the videos, you'll be able to see. Every other bridge, you could see the water receding. That bridge, there was no line for the water receding. So what that is telling me, and I'm not an engineer, is that the water isn't dropping at that point because there's so much water that needs to get through that bridge because it's being choked. There is no receding line till after the river drops even further. I went to the park where the Parkway overpass is, and you could see there that the receding line was dramatic. It was dropped about 1.5 feet, and part of the reason for that is because you have that river that runs into Rochelle Park. And the water is able to filter out through there as the river decreases. And that's why I figured it dropped so much, because it has more room to go. Also, behind Kenwood Court, you can see where the river is, and I filmed that little stream that goes through there. Well, it was stagnant. Again, as the river rises, it just pushes into the streams and the storm drains, and there's really not much that can be done. I mean, as the river rises, it's going to push that water through the storm drains. And unless we develop some type of clapper valve, but I don't know how you can even do that. The water is always going to come through the storm drains and back up into those drainage areas. I mean, not unless you have an answer, Rob. I mean,
No, I really.
even if you lowered the river, it's still.
Here's, as far as the bridge, supposedly $4 million was appropriated for the Marsalis Bridge. I was at the county today for about a 2.5-hour meeting.
They didn't get the appropriation.
I was told today from the hydrologist that they did get the appropriation. He feels they should take some of the money to study. I said, I'm not sure what they're gonna study.
The best thing would be to blow up that bridge and
Well, even if you
get
forget,
away with it.
if you take that bridge, off the agenda, what you need to do is increase the storage capacity before it gets here. And the only two places that you can do that is the park where you're talking about to
Coolidge
increase.
School
By Coolidge School.
and by Kenwood.
Take all of that land and reclaim it as detention, as reservoir space, and do the same in Paramus. So it has some sort of an area to start doing that from that point upstream rather. That's what needs to be done. But again, and then take the Saddle River as you go south of Market Street and channelize that properly, get rid of the trees, cut the banks back, take it out, and make a better channel once you go through there. But unless you do all the above, you're right. Once it comes up, you can't stop it from coming into Saddle Brook. And, the areas by Lincoln and obviously where you are.
It all just backs up further into
Saddle
the
River.
interior
Right.
residential
And
streets.
that becomes the drainage basin, the storage basin.
Well, I'm just letting the public know, right now, we're trying our best, and the video that Anthony has, the council and myself will be getting copies together, sending it to the governor's office, to the congressman, whatever. Rob, I think the town that's going to scream the loudest may get heard, may get something, and if it has to be
Mayor.
Saddle Brook, I'm for taking the lead, and I know every one of these people here will.
All I can say is, today, this area, probably New Milford area, dodged a large bullet.
We
This
were
morning,
very lucky.
United Water was letting water over the Oradell Reservoir about 11 o'clock this morning, so the reservoir is full. Again, if we got 3 to 5 inches of rain this evening, as they
We would have been
predicted,
flooded.
there would have been massive flooding.
All right, can I just stop you 1 second? He's going to have to change the tape on this. George, you have a tape, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
Ron.
are you
Mayor,
done, or?
Just two more seconds.
No, oh, you're going to talk about the river still, right?
2 seconds.
Okay, 'cause
What I
then
would
I just wanna add
suggest,
one thing.
because obviously people see it, the storms are getting more intense, the areas are getting more developed. Mayor, I think we gotta keep the heat up and start again, and just keep pounding the pavement.
Well, we're going to do it. Anthony?
And I just want to say to the residents out there, go on Google Earth, and Google Earth shows elevations. And run your cursor down the Saddle River and the Passaic River, and you could come to your own conclusions on it. That's all I just want to say. Just try that. Google Earth and see the depth of the river. It'll show you the elevations and everything, and you could pretty much see, I don't want to say, but you could pretty much see what can and can't be done.
Thank you, and thanks for doing that video. Just for additional information, May 9th Public Council meeting, I wasn't here, I was at the Historic Preservation Awards for Mr. Wasdike and the group that, our Historical Society who wrote the book. It was a very moving, touching, and the right place for me to be. May 20th, I attended a meeting with Mike on plans reviews for the county bridge, Essex, Market, Rochelle Park, Lodi. It's just in a talk stage now, and really nothing will be occurring to make those improvements till about 2015. But we're having another meeting again the end of June. June 9th was the ALS walk. We had about 2,500 people come out at the Saddle Brook Park, which was wonderful. I mean, I credit the families and the victims, and there's no cure. So please take time out to support. AARP was, they had their installation of new officers. That was Sunday also. And they're on a membership drive. Anyone looking to join the ARP, call the Senior Center. June 29th is our fishing contest. It's always fun, 9 to 12. The Kiwanis sponsor it. The fish are ordered. Let's hope for no rain, or I heard they bite better. Mike and I, in our drive-through and walk-through by the river, we spoke with the park's maintenance people. The park's looking great, so compliments to them. They're aware of the fishing contest. We're going to go back because I want the waters cleaner than they were last year in the lake. And the picnic is going to follow at 1 o'clock, 1 to 4. We're going to have some new programs, rides, and food again. Everyone will be stamped. It's for Saddle Brook residents only for the food. And July 3rd are fireworks at dusk. And this year we're having the fireworks done by virtue of a digital display, because we had a bad occurrence last year. They used to light them by hand, and it's unfortunate. The person that owned the company passed away a few weeks ago, last month. His family, his son is still in it, but he's going to be missed greatly this year. So those are good things happening in town besides all the other issues. And if I've forgotten any other dates, please remind me.
Thank you, Mayor. I got a couple questions. One, Mr. Costa.
Yes, Mr. President.
Midland Ave, railroad tracks.
Yes.
Can you explain what is going on over there? Not much, we understand.
Well, obviously, there's not much. In the past 2 days, between the county and the railroad, the potholes were filled. Obviously, that's not the fix. I've taken photos. I was with Mike Calderon, the director of the DPW. I sent numerous emails. I spoke to numerous individuals. And as of today, have absolutely no response from the railroad. I had a meeting at the county, as I stated earlier, with the county engineer, the assistant county engineer. John Libretti from the county council is involved with this. The county executive is involved with this. This has made it on the desk of a lot of people. Whether the borough attorney agrees with my methods or not, I did not email or tweet the Pope on this at the Vatican, but I tried as many people as I thought.
And not the governor.
Not the governor. I gave it to the senator, the assembly people in this district, and obviously the congressman, because it is a railroad. And I will not stop until we mill the road, pave the road, and get it done properly. I spoke to Todd Hurd from DOT yesterday. He said, Rob, I'll look at it. DOT will give the money for the crossing and the siding closer to the gym and to Belden Brick. That was as of yesterday afternoon. Now the fight is whose jurisdiction is who has the responsibility for what. My recommendation to this council is to allow the attorney to at least draft a letter, send a letter, put all the parties on notice, and at that point, if we have to seek some sort of a court injunction to deem it an emergency and then have the town mill, pave, and then seek reimbursement, so be it. And do our own fate. That's my recommendation.
Mr. Conti, if I may.
Yes.
As Rob was emailing amok, I did speak to the president of New York and Susquehanna Railroad. He's indicated that he is cooperating. He has reached out to the county. There should be a meeting scheduled within the 2 to 3 weeks. It's county roadway. County's basically responsible up to the tracks. So those issues have to be explored. In addition, he's indicated to me that he will be able to get the appropriate representatives of, what is that, Norfolk Southern?
Correct.
Norfolk, which has the one spur, which is probably That's actually a transit spur, but Norfolk Southern operates it, so there may be some sort of maintenance agreement. Whether we need transit there or not, we don't know, but I will be following up to Mr. Costa's emails.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay.
I think I've got the attention of some people. Whether it's good or bad, I've definitely got the attention of somebody.
We have to try and, because we can't take responsibility of doing anything ourselves, correct? Because that is a county road.
It's the county road, railroad has the right to cross it, or the county has a right to cross the railroad
Right,
crossing.
and that's
Whatever it
the-
is that's for them to decide. Basically, what railroads do is they're responsible for the area where the tracks are. The roadway is the jurisdiction of whichever entity controls that road, whether it's municipal, county, or
Well,
state.
What I was told today at the meeting I was at, the county can go no closer than 6 feet. If they go any closer to 6 feet to the rail, then that's in the sphere of influence of a train. And if they do so and the train derails, the county could be liable. I said, well, then if it's the railroad, the problem is the pothole isn't 6 feet away, it's 6 inches away. So then the railroad has to come to the plate. I know you spoke to the president today.
No doubt about it. And we're gonna figure out whether it's 6 inches or 5 feet.
And this could make case law and straighten out all of the crossings in New Jersey.
Let me just ask a question. Couldn't the railroad give a waiver of liability and allow the county to do what needs to be done? Because we all know that somebody's gonna get really, really hurt on that,
There's
in
no
that
question.
area.
There's no
Especially
doubt.
motorcycle riders. Joe's got a motorcycle.
There's no
It's cra-
question.
I don't know how they go
The
over
railroad
the
showed
bridge.
up with one bag of cold patch, and it went nowhere. So just for the council's edification, the county put down the pothole mix adjacent to the tracks. The county supervisors did not know that. Now, the county said to me today, we don't know why we did that, we should not have done that. So now they're in a quandary. Why did their road department, because obviously there's a hole there, and the road department, who went out, they would fill the hole. So this needs to get to another level. And I think Brian needs to start shipping out letters and do his attorney thing.
We can start that with his $400.
No, I got one more thing to say. I'm gonna go off. The planning board, I'm a representative of the planning board. And we talked about Caldwell, it was brought up numerous times up here. The planning board acted correctly. They made suggestions that back to the housing authority. The housing authority didn't, I guess, want to adhere to it. And we did knock it down. And even though they needed the funding, well, they're gonna have to wait, I guess, 6 months, come up with a new plan, and then come back to us. But, we put policies in place also to protect the residents in that area. I mean, setbacks, it could be, it's a foot, it's still a setback. I'm sorry. They have to meet what the planning board sets. And, I feel bad. Do I want senior housing? Absolutely. But we also have to protect the residents of this town and the people in that area. So I just really wanted to get that out, and I think the planning board acted correctly on this. And that's all I have to, also one more thing. The VFW, thanks God for the VFW, is sponsoring the fireworks on July 3rd. So I just want to let everybody know, and have a great 4th of July. And that's all I have to say.
Council comments?
Yeah, I just
Yes.
have a couple things. Rob, Erie Street and Market Street, any progress on getting that light to change more often?
Okay, I apologize. I was under the impression that they went out and reset that signal. If they did not, I will send an email. That's what I was doing just now on something else.
All right, yeah, can you just
Yep.
follow up on that?
Absolutely.
Because this might help alleviate some of the traffic that goes down Dewey.
I will do that. I will talk to Gary Ascalese tomorrow morning, first thing.
And I know it was brought up here at our Tuesday work session, about the equipment at Coolidge School. I was there this evening to grab a couple tapes, and there was only one vehicle left back there. So the stuff has been removed, and there's just one car back there that Pete is working with. Yes. That's all I have on that.
All
I
right.
have council comments.
Let's go right into it, because
right.
it seemed like we went from old business to new business to council comments, so.
You have any?
Yeah, okay. I'd just like to wish all the graduates congratulations from preschool to grad school. We're all so very proud of each and every one of you. And also a happy Father's Day to all dads, granddads, stepdads. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay. I would also like to congratulate all the graduates and good luck to those who are going to college and high school. It's a big step. Parade committee, I just want to thank you for all the work you did for parade. It was a wonderful parade and all the time and effort you put in there. We all appreciate that. Everybody have a happy, safe 4th of July. And, that's it.
Yeah, I just have a few things real quick. To all the graduates, I do wish them well. Congratulations to all of them. To our Spirit cheerleaders, congratulations on their accomplishments. Our 3 young men here, good luck with your Merit Award badge. And the other thing was, over the weekend, I don't know if everyone's aware, but I did go to Saddle Brook High School softball championship state game. It was a great game. Unfortunately, they came up a little short, but I want to congratulate them, their parents, and their coaches to another fantastic season. And everybody have a nice Father's Day. Thank you.
Just, it's not going to be long. To reiterate what some of the guys up here said, stop. I want to thank the VFW especially for the Memorial Day Parade. It's a great, I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it's always a great day for Saddle Brook. It's a tradition which we hope goes on forever, and thanks to them and to all the participants and organizations that made it a success. Father's Day, I lost my dad about 46 years ago, so to all those who have fathers, cherish them, because once they're gone, you can't get them back. So just love them as much as you can. Congratulations to all the people that are graduating. I'm happy that I was asked to once again chaperone the project graduation, and we wish all of the graduates, especially the high school guys, a safe graduation, and hopefully the silliness after graduation will be at a minimum and they all come home safely. On a personal note, I want to congratulate my daughter, Nicole. She has graduated from Seton Hall with a master's in science in occupational therapy, and hopefully she'll get a job. Yeah, she's been there she's been home for a long time. And I guess just we'll see you at the township picnic and the 4th of July, and have a safe holiday. Thanks.
Did I skip over you?
I have no comments. I
apologize.
I yielded my time to Mr. Costa.
Thank you.
Oh, I just have a...
Did you want to address that one?
Yes, I forgot about that. Just one other thing. Tuesday night, I felt I was in conflict with two. One was with the computer contract, and the other was with the development on Midland Avenue. So Mr. Chakowski looked into it, and Brian, if you just want to...
Yeah, and also I was able to get some additional facts from Mr. Halco regarding that. I said I would take a look at the local government ethics law. Local government ethics law prohibits an elected official from acting on matters where there was a direct or indirect financial interest or personal interest. That personal interest is defined as immediate family. In both instances, there was not a financial interest, but raised to a level that there could be a personal interest. The easiest one was the development. There seems to be a property owner who was a nephew-in-law. Again, not immediate family under the local government ethics law. The other aspect was with the web design, that it was a cousin who worked for and had no ownership interest in a company that was making the proposal with another company. That was so tenuous that it wouldn't even rise to it. I would say if it was a cousin, it may raise a question. It's not an immediate family, But in this instance, since it was so tenuous, neither matters would rise to a level of a conflict under the local government ethics law.
And thanks for looking into that, Brian.
Thank you. Any other council comments?
Happy Father's Day to all, and congratulations to all the graduates. God bless.
Motion to close.
Need a motion to close?
Second.
By Mr. Samaluka, second by Mr. Halko. All in favor?